What we're going to look at here is rendering a table called index.html that looks like this. The first thing we can do is count the number of rows and the number of columns. So in columns, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, and in rows, 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. We also notice that we have a caption down here at the bottom, and we have some margin between the table and the caption. We also notice that we're in centered. Vertical alignment is right at the top, and this seems to be bold, and the athletic center seems to be bold, and the rest is not. Okay, we're going to begin by making a subdirectory called review tables. We'll have one file in that directory, and we'll call that file index.html. Okay, things will look like this once we put in the usual tags. And because there are 4 rows and 4 columns, we're going to set up a grid that kind of looks like this. For the style, we'll put in table, TD, border 1 pixel solid black, border collapse. All right, if we take a look and see what we have, that's what we have so far. Next, we're going to take a look and might as well put in the caption. We have opening week activities. So I'll put the caption in right under the title or the table tag, and we'll style it so it styles like a caption. And the first thing is the text align is center, and we have something called caption side, and this is pretty much how you put it in. So if we take a look at what we have so far, that looks pretty good. It looks like it's in the center, and the table, of course, will get bigger. Now it's time to put in the text within the table. So we'll start in the top left with student introduction meeting. So that'll go in A1. So if we save that and have a look at it, that's what we get so far. The next one that we'll do is B1, and that's athletic policies, but it spans over 3 rows. So it's B1. And let's have a look at that. And that's looking pretty good. And C4 and D4, we can get rid of those. So D4, I'll get rid of that first, and C4 was the other one. So C4 and D4 are gone. Next one I'm going to do is top left corner is A2. If we have a look at that, it's called fire regulations, and it goes over 2 columns. So A2 is called fire regulations, call span equals 2. Take a look at that, and we can get rid of A4. Save that and refresh. Okay, B2 is next. That's right under fire regulations, and that's called bus schedule. And we can take another look. Underneath that is C1, which is called sports, just all by itself. And that's what we've got so far. Next, D1 would be the one to choose. And that's athletic center, but it goes over 3 columns. So D1. And let's have a look at that. And as you can see, D2 and D3 can be taken out. You take those out, have a look, and the table's looking pretty good. B3 will be next, kind of right under fire regulations, and that's meet the president, and underneath that is lunch. So B3, meet the president. Okay, underneath that is C2, which is lunch. And next is A3, which is complicated. It's quite a bit of text here. A3 is quite a bit of text, and it's broken up on lines by itself. So I'm going to accomplish that with BRs. Okay, I'm going to have a look at that. And that's looking okay as well. B4 is right underneath it, although this is a row span of 3. So row span equals 3. And there'll be some cells to get rid of here. And B4 and C3. So B4 is gone, C3 is gone, and we should be done. And that looks correct. We're just going to have a look at that with respect to the table right beside it. So we'll put this here. And try to center this stuff. So we look pretty good on all of the elements, including the caption. Next, I'm going to put a container in around the table. And I'll close that down here at the bottom. And I'll just add a comment just so I remember what this is the close for. And with this table or container, I'm just going to put an orange box around it just so I can see its location. So background, border, 5 pixels, solid orange. Also too, I better give it some height. Give it about 300 pixels, and I'll give it a width of 60% for now, and we'll see what we get. Okay, so I can make the width a little bit bigger because I want to adjust the table. So I'm just going to touch up that width and make it 100%. Okay, I want to kind of adjust the table and put it a little more in the middle. So one way I can do that is use my orange container here and generate some padding, quite a bit of padding. So let's try 100 pixels left, right, up, down, and see if that moves the table. Yeah, that moves the table quite nicely. The next thing that would be fairly easy to do is the first column is supposed to be orange, and the second and the athletic center is supposed to be green. Here's what I mean. The orange is in the first column and the athletic center is green. So let's put that in. So for the first column, under the table, we can have something called a call group so that we can access the first column. And the way this call group works is we have column, and then we create a class, call it the first column. And if we wanted to access the second column, we could just make another one of these call classes, but we just need access to the first column. So we go up here and make do the styling for the first column. It's a background color of orange. Let's have a look and see if that worked. Yes, the athletic center is green, but I don't want to access the other columns using the call group technique. Instead, I'll just put a class right in there for the athletic center. So for the athletic center, we want to make that green. So right here, we'll put in a class, not that, ath center. And we'll go up and style that ath center just like this. Let's have a look at it. And that looks pretty good. Next, I'm going to try to give each of the cells, they're all TDs, a little height. So we can go up here and we can go height. And I'm just guessing 80 pixels. See what that looks like. It's looking pretty good. Each of the cells also is centered, the text that is, so we can add that as well in the TD. And also notice that the vertical alignment's right at the top for each of the cells. Also, we're bold here and down here on the athletic center. We'll do the vertical alignment first. So the vertical alignment's at the top, and with respect to the bold, there's a couple ways we could do that. One easy way would be to use strong. So we would take student introduction meeting and athletic policies, and we could just put in a strong here. Athletic policies. And the other one is academic policies. Oh, this is academic policies. Let's just have a look and see. I've missed one. Yeah, academic policies. Okay, so we look like these are strong. Now, just comparing these two, I'm going to give my height, the height of each TD, more than 80. I'm going to go up to 100 and see what that looks like. It looks a little bit better. Next, I'd like to do a little work with that caption. You'll notice it's bold, and you'll notice that there's a margin as well. So let's take the caption, which we already have. We'll make it bold this way. And we'll put in a margin top of say 10 pixels and see what that looks like. Okay, and that looks pretty good. So we're going to now take away the orange container, which is right here, and just see if we've got everything. Okay, and I'll put the model beside it. Now this model's blown up a little bit, so I'll just make it a little smaller so we can kind of compare. And just doing a rough scan, I need some more width with each of the TDs. Okay, so for getting a little bit more width, you'll notice that I have the TD here, but the table as well, and I don't want the whole table width changed. So I'm going to put a new TD specification and guess it around 220. So if we take a look at that and have a look, then we take a look beside with the model, and it looks pretty good. The Athletic Center is not bold. That's the only thing that I've forgotten. So we'll just go down to, we had a class called Auth Center. So I'll just say font weight bold. And at this point, I should be done. This should be as close as we can come to the particular table that we need to make. That's it. Thanks a lot.